So many of you out there might be like 1-2-1 versus 2-2. You know what? You could say that, Chris, but tell that to the two coaches. One of whom whose seat is suddenly getting hotter, and Frank Reich, even though, you might not think so, but Jim Irsay is one of those guys that does give his people time, but sometimes the clock strikes midnight out of nowhere. And I don't know if he would be so impetuous to make a maneuver in the middle of the season. But 1-3-1 is not what the Colts expected once they dispatched Carson Wentz elsewhere. Did not let the door kick him in the you-know-what on the way out to Washington, D.C. And then they get Matt Ryan. Remember that? Everyone's like, who are they going to get? Was it going to be Baker Mayfield? Could they get him? And they said, no, we're going to go much older, and we're going to go much more mature. We're going to go with a CEO quarterback instead of the progressive kid. We're going to go CEO. We're going to get Matt Ryan, and we're going to get him out of Atlanta. We're going to put him behind the best offensive line he's ever been behind. And the offensive line has been nothing but trouble for this team. And tonight, they go into Denver without Jonathan Taylor. This is a kid who didn't miss a practice his entire life. I'm assuming he didn't miss a practice in Pop Warner, but high school, University of Wisconsin, and Indianapolis never missed a practice. Now he's going to miss a game. And the first overall pick of fantasy drafts coast to coast.
Absolutely.
He has been a non-factor. He has been a virtual non-factor as well in your fantasy leagues. And the Colts are on a short week, licking their wounds after the Tennessee Titans just came in and did the tighten up thing to them with Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill has now beaten back the Barbarians at his gates. He's 2-2. And the Tennessee Titans are sitting atop that division with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who've already beaten the Colts. Shut them out. Tennessee is at Washington this week. They're going to say, hey, Carson Wentz, you're not on the Colts anymore, but guess what? You still see us. I mean, 1-3-1 with the Titans at 3-2, and Jacksonville's at home against Houston, which is yet to win. They could be 1-3-1 looking up at 2-3-2 teams who have already beaten them. Nyheim Hines is taking over the top spot at running back, and that offensive line.
Hit him with the Hines.
Yeah. That offensive line better get it together tonight, at least for their benefit. Randy Gregory is not going to be on the field this evening, and he's part of a banged-up Broncos team that has lost Javonte Williams for the season. Latavius Murray was in London wearing a Saints uniform, scoring a touchdown against the Vikings on Sunday. Tonight, he's wearing a Broncos uniform because as soon as Murray was done with that game, I guess he went back on the practice squad for the Saints, and the minute that happened, the Broncos signed him.
We'll take that.
That is so wild.
Think about it. Tonight, you're going to see a running back in orange for the Denver Broncos who 4 days ago had a fleur-de-lis on the side of his helmet for a Saints team in London that was ready to win if not for a double doink
scoring a touchdown in that game.
Field goal. They were ready to show the Brits what overtime looked like in a crazy-ass football game that included everything soup to nuts. Now Latavius Murray might be a crucial member of the Denver Broncos because Javonte Williams is out for the season and Melvin Gordon has got the top spot, and hope for his sake he stops fumbling.
Yeah.
He's got a fumble problem. Mike Boone, who got all of those reps and snaps while Javonte Williams was healthy former Viking. Now he's got a crucial aspect in an offense that has not had Russ cooking. And everybody thought Russ is going to do nothing but cook. And the Broncos are 2-2. And that's the way they walk into this house tonight, with Russ having a dinged up throwing shoulder. And we assume that got hurt in Las Vegas and not him lifting all of those Subway sandwiches. Let's ride.
Let's ride, Rich.
So
It's dangerous.
And this is a Broncos team
I like danger.
that was supposed to just add Russ. That's it. That's the ingredient for the cooking. Just add Russ.
100%.
Because you got Jerry Jeudy, and you got Cortland Sutton, and you got the rest of this offense that now a new head coach is coming in. And this new head coach was the Aaron Rodgers wonderkind, right? So you're going to bring a guy in who Aaron Rodgers loves so much, and now you're going to put Russ into that offense, and the rushing attack and the Russell attack together, along with Randy Gregory added to a defense that does have a top-notch kid in Patrick Surtain II. That's supposed to add up to a Super Bowl run, which could potentially still materialize. But they're 2-2, and the coach Nathaniel Hackett needed to hire an old, old man Hosberg, right? and add him to the mix to say challenge, call timeout. No.
He didn't get it right either.
Decline the penalty, accept the penalty. Telling the new head coach, helping him out how to administrate a game. And the coach pushed all the right buttons in week one inside the red zone, but everybody kept fumbling. And then when it came time to actually try to win the game in Seattle, the coach fumbled, saying, let's go for it on a field goal because you were on the 46-yard line. That's good enough for us, 64 yards. Let's try it, even though we're not in altitude. And then other games, they're on the 41-yard line instead of the 46-yard line, and they're punting. There's been nothing but head scratching in Denver over the first 4 weeks of this season. So these two teams facing each other to kick off the de facto second quarter of the NFL regular season, to me, is fascinating. Because the loser of this game is in a world of hurt. Now, you could say Denver isn't all that hurt. I mean, 2-3 isn't that bad. Well, how good did Kansas City look on Sunday night?
Pretty good.
That's correct. And you got a 3-1 team in second place in the AFC East. You got 4 teams at 2-2, 3 teams at 2-2 in the AFC North. And you got the Chargers back at 2-2 as well, seemingly going to get healthy. At some point, Keenan Allen's going to get back on the field. I know Joey Bosa is on IR.
Yeah.
But for a guy who had fractured rib cartilage, I mean, Justin Herbert looks pretty good.
He looks like Wolverine. It just healed.
It's unbelievable. Excellent analogy.
Thank you. Adamantium.
And the Chargers are going to Cleveland before a Monday nighter at home against Denver. Denver needs to win this game tonight at home against the Colts team that is banged up without Jonathan Taylor, their big toe, out with toe problems and more. Oh, yeah. They better win this game tonight. And the whole country's going to pull up a chair again and watch how the offense looks and how Nathaniel Hackett's running this offense and calling timeouts. And now here comes Al Michaels talking about a coach 40 years in the business sitting upstairs no one's ever heard of in the ear of their new head coach telling him, hey, call timeout. Hey, throw the challenge flag. So, yeah, it would behoove the Broncos to win a home game on a short week at home against a 1-2-1 team and go hunt a Matt Ryan that is sitting back there like an iron deer on your front lawn, unable to hold on to the football because his offensive line is so terrific, he's unable to block. And the Colts better win this game despite being on the road on a short week because the Broncos are banged up and you do have a much more steady staff and head coach and Frank Reich, who's been there and done that. And you do have a better offensive line if they can all friggin' block. And you do need it because you can't fall to 1-3-1. At least their one is against the Chiefs. Go figure that, man. But at least they did that. Yeah. I think this is a big game tonight. Between two teams, I chose the Colts to win the South, the AFC South.
Same.
And a lot of people thought, okay, Broncos, let's ride. Because it's rest time. And if they go to 2-3 and the rest of the league then plays everything out this weekend, the Chargers win. Man, the Chiefs, and let's just say the Raiders shocked the Chiefs. What if that happens? That would be helpful to the Broncos if they lose tonight, but they would then be in last place because the Raiders would be 2-3 with a tie break against them. They'd be looking up at 3 teams, assuming the Chargers win in Cleveland, which is a large assumption. I'm just laying it all out for. I'm not here for the 1-2-1 against 2-2.
Yeah. I'm not saying all of that. Everything you said is obviously valid and true. I'm worried tonight is going to be 16-13 and really unwatchable.
Well, I can't help you on that.
Yeah.
That
especially
one I can't
when
help
you have
on.
Russell Wilson in fantasy.
Can't help you on that one.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of fascinating aspects to tonight's game.